Jai Hind to all. Today I am here to discuss some complex topics of the cloud computing, and actually this entire topic is based on the syllabus of AKTU, and this cover the unit 1. Okay, the subject code is KCS 713, and in this lecture I have chosen these two topics as complex, essential and general characteristics of cloud computing. This is why, because many times students have a lots of confusion that what is the essential characteristics and what is general characteristics. Okay, so many times they are writing essential in general characteristics and general characteristics in essential characteristics, but this is clearly separate, and this separation is defined by NIST, because in the field of cloud computing we know that NIST has given a lots of NIST, this organization, this is the US based organization, and this have given a lots of concept, framework, architecture, concept and definition regarding cloud computing. So this is basically, this is the National Institute of Standards and Technology. Okay, this is the National Institute of Standards and Technology. Okay, so this is the organization who have given a lots of standards, okay, that is globally accepted in the field of cloud computing. So this architecture, this particular standard organization have defined clearly essential and general characteristics in separation, means both are different. Okay, so many times students have the confusion that they are not clearly understand what is the essential characteristics and what is the general characteristics, and frequently they write the wrong answer, and they mix two in one. So let's see next. So this is the basically this is the framework that is defined by the NIST. Okay, so this is the framework that is defined by the NIST. NIST means National Institute of Standards and Technology, and that is the US based basically. Okay, so let us see. This is the framework architecture. This diagram is not designed by me, actually this is taken, then this is defined by the NIST basically. So in this framework, if we see here, so clearly this framework define the layered approach, and each and everything is defined in layered way. Okay, like at the top, this is the hybrid cloud. Then this is the private, community and public cloud. So basically these layers are defined by the NIST, and this first layer is the deployment model. This is known as the deployment model. Okay, and then at the next, this is the service model. These are also very important in the field of the cloud computing. Okay, they are the two very important model, and that is the deployment model and the service model. Okay, and then this is the essential characteristics. So basically these are the 5 characteristics that come in essential, that is the essential, you can say fundamental, or sometimes we can say basic characteristics. Okay, so these are the on-demand, self-service, broad network access, rapid elasticity, resource pooling, measured service. Okay, so these are the 5 basic characteristics. And next, on the bottom of this particular essential, these are the some common characteristics, common in the sense general characteristics. What are that? Like massive scale, resilient computing, homogeneity, geographic distribution, virtualization, service orientation, low cost software, advanced security. So let us, if we see here, they are the 8 general or common characteristics, okay, and the 5 essential characteristics. So let us see once at a glance what are the meaning of these particular layers, okay. So as we see at the top, deployment model. The deployment model means how cloud vendor or developer deploy their services for the consumer, okay, means this is the process of delivery of the services to the consumer. So here we can see there are the 3 types, basically 4 types, 4 ways. There are the 4 ways by which vendor can deliver their service to the consumer, okay. What are that? One is, here we can see, this is the private cloud, this is the private cloud and this is the public cloud, okay. So what is the meaning of public cloud? Let us see one by one. Public cloud means we are taking the services, means vendor provide the services to the consumer through the public network like internet, okay, open network, public network, and these services are the very general in nature and generic in nature. That means anybody can use, that is not designed for in some particular consumer, okay. So that is the public cloud. For example, in this in COVID-19, we all seen and we all have seen, and actually we have used also lots of online platform, online apps for the teaching and learning process like Google Meet. So this is what? This is also a cloud service, and this service is deployed as a public cloud, okay. That means public or general people can use that, anybody can use that. They have to just create a login and password to the Google account, and then they can use, they can schedule service, they can decide the duration of the service, duration of that particular Google Meet class. So this is the beauty of public cloud, that this is target, this is design, this is delivered to the general people for the generic use, okay. So lots of services are that come in public cloud, like Gmail services, like Google Drive, that is the storage and provided by the cloud. This is also very generic, okay, anybody can use who have the account on the Google. Then the other is the public cloud, private cloud. The private cloud means these services are deployed for a particular consumer, that is designed and deployed and delivered to a particular consumer. That means if you want private cloud as a consumer, then that services and in fact that data center, server, everything may be installed at our site, at our premises, okay, and we have a lots of control on these. In fact, we can hire some expert that can take care about these data center, okay. So we can control, we can manage, we can configure the services as per our need at our end. But that is not the case of the public cloud. In public cloud, we cannot have a much control on the resources. We cannot do some either means we cannot add at the runtime, we can delete, okay, at our end. We can request and that is added and relieved by the admin at the back end, okay. So this is the beauty of private cloud. This is the very secure cloud, because this is not designed over public network, and that is a services, cloud services that is designed, that is delivered for a private, and that is a private data center, okay. And then community cloud is this contain the beauty or advantages of private as well as public cloud both, okay, because community cloud is a cloud services that designed for a particular community. So what is the community? Community means set of people, group of people who have same interest, same kind of working culture, same kind of working domain. Okay, so that is the community cloud. Like some teaching learning apps that is designed, that is targeted for the academic organizations, okay, academic institutions, colleges, schools. That is a kind of community cloud, okay, because that cannot be used by everyone for general purpose. That has a specific purpose and that is designed for a set of users. That is community cloud. And hybrid cloud, that contain any two or maybe all three. Okay, so some consumer needs all these, means private cloud should be there and public cloud should also be there. Private cloud for their some critical and for critical data processing and very secure and secure data processing, for much security, for more security, for critical data and sensitive data, they choose private cloud, and for general use they use public cloud. So these both can be designed in together and that is delivered and that is deployed to the consumer. And then there is a service model and that have the three type of services. This is very common and very useful and very important thing, that each and every services that is provided by the cloud can be categorized in three categories. Okay, and later on some more categories also there. Okay, like security as a service, storage as a service, network as a service. Okay, but basically we are talking here the basic category of the services and that is defined in three category and that is also defined by the NIST. Okay, and that is software as a service, platform as a service and infrastructure as a service. So software as a service, that means that is the service that is provide the basic applications, like Google Meet classes, Gmail services, customer relationship management, CRM, ERP, enterprise resource planning, okay, billing, all these type of general purpose software or application that come in this software as a service. Okay, then platform as a service, that contain the services that create a runtime environment for the consumer to write, to develop, to host some new applications. That means if I think that I want some resources so that I can design, I can develop, I can host some more, means some new applications, some new apps, software, then certainly if you want to take that services from the cloud, then that type of services known as platform as a services, like example, like database. Okay, if you want to have the database from the cloud, like runtime environment, testing tools. So these are the some categories, okay, that come in the platform as a service. Then infrastructure as a service. So there are the three basic categories. Infrastructure means hardware like of things, like if you want some storage from the cloud, that come in the infrastructure. If you want some bandwidth, some network services, that come in this particular infrastructure as a service. If you want cloud compute, means server from the cloud, that come also in this particular infrastructure as a service, that provide the infrastructure. Okay, so basically this infrastructure lie in bottom, then on top of that infrastructure come the platform as a service, then on top of the platform as a service come SaaS, software as a service. Then let us come to our topic, that is the essential characteristics, and these are the on demand, broad network access, rapid elasticity, resource pooling, measured service. Okay, so let us see what is this. So actually this NIST, as I have already told you, NIST is a big organization in this field, in the field of cloud computing, that have designed, that have given lots of definition, standard, concept and architecture. So this is the US based, basically that define the cloud computing as cloud computing is a model for enabling ubiquitous, convenient, on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources like network, server, storage. These are the infrastructure as a service, infrastructure, application. This is the SaaS, software as a service, and other more services like database, runtime environment, testing tools that can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal management effort or service provider interaction. Okay. So, this is the basically cloud computing. Now, these are the 5 basic characteristics: pooling of resources, network connection, on-demand service, pay-per-use, metered service. Okay. Pay-per-use. So, let us see this. Okay. So, these are the 5 basic characteristics: on-demand, broad network access, rapid elasticity, resource pooling, and measured service. Let us see one by one. So, on-demand self-service. What is the meaning of this one? On-demand self-service. Yes. You can think what type of services, what type of this nature is known as on-demand self-services. Okay. So, as we know that in cloud computing, okay, every resources, either that is hardware or software, or that may be some platform kind of nature, all these are provided to the consumer as a service. Service means here web service. Okay. In some other lecture, we have discussed this in more detail, what are the web services. Okay. So, on demand means whenever I require, as a consumer, as a client, whenever I require, I need some kind of software or hardware that we cannot want to establish at our end, we can go to the cloud provider, okay, for that type of resources, and that resources is immediately within some second is granted to us, okay, like Gmail services, Google Drive, Google Meet classes, Google Compute for the server, AWS provide the number of infrastructure resources, Amazon Web Services, and that is a big giant in this particular giant company in the field of cloud computing. Amazon Web Services, na? AWS, yes. So, on demand self service means whenever we have demand, we request to the cloud provider, that services immediately is offered to us. We can use that. This is the beauty of cloud computing. That means we need not to take care how that services are coming, how that is managed at the background. This is known as the abstraction. So, cloud computing provide the abstractive services. Abstraction is there. We have no idea about the details, how they are managed and how they are delivered to us, but we can use that services. So, this is the on-demand self-service. Self-service in the sense, whenever that service come to us, we can provision that as per our need. We can manage that as per our need. Like, suppose for example, we are taking cloud services like Google Meet classes. Google Meet for what purpose? Google Meet is used. Google Meet is used for the online class. That means we can schedule the online class. We can send the link to the students. A student can join. Okay, not for the teaching learning. Other purposes also, like for the business meeting, like for some strategic planning. Number of people can meet together online with the help of this Google Meet. What is the beauty of Google Meet? With the help of Google Meet, we can decide the duration we can decide when we have to schedule the meeting. What is this? That means we are provisioning now. We are managing as per our need. Once that service is provided to us, we can decide when that meeting should start, when that end, whether we want to record the service or not, record the particular meeting or not. Okay, which people you want to allow in meeting. So all these are in our hand, na? So this is the self-service actually. So on-demand self-services. So if we see here, the cloud computing services does not require any human administrators. Users themselves are able to provision, monitor and manage computing resources as needed. So this is, I have already told you, with the help of Google Meet classes. Okay. Then other is the broad network access. That is the essential characteristics. Sometimes this is also, you can say that this is a limitation also, because if network is not strong, okay, then you cannot access the service at all. In fact, you stored your data on the Google means drive or some Google means cloud storage. That may be Google Drive, OneDrive, Sky Drive, and many more are there, na? So our data, and we store that, but it may be possible that due to bad quality of internet connections, we cannot access our data at all. Okay, in urgency also, that means data is logged, we cannot use because network is not there. So that is also essential characteristics. That means there should be good quality of internet, good quality of network services. Only when this will successfully we can access, provider can provide, and this particular consumer can use effectively. So the computing services are generally provided over standard networks and heterogeneous devices. Okay. Next is the rapid elasticity. That is very important. Rapid elasticity. If we focus on the word rapid and then elasticity. So what is the meaning of rapid elasticity? Rapid means quickly. And elasticity means, that means elastic nature. We can increase, we can stretch, we can release. What does it mean in the field of cloud computing? So in the field of cloud computing, this rapid elasticity means we can add more services, we can demand more services at any time from the cloud provider, and that is delivered to us. We can release the services when we feel that that is not further in our use. We can release that, and that is means rapidly taken away from that particular cloud provider, from you. So this is the beauty. That means there is no formality, much formality. This is not the case that once you have demand some basic configuration of services and next you want some more services. Like for example, we have taken Google Drive. Okay, as you know that Google Drive provide 15 GB free spaces. Okay, that means we can use freely. If we have account in the cloud, we can use 15 GB. We have to no pay of that. But beyond 15, you are charged. Okay. So there is the case. Suppose we have demand 5 GB or it may be 20 GB space at any time from the Google. That is delivered to us. But later we feel that is not sufficient. After 2 days, 4 days, 5 days, after 1 month, we may feel that we have to add the service. So there is no, that means you need not to go for some fresh request. No, in that service, that particular additional space is also provided to you. Okay, 20 GB is provided already, and suppose you want some 5 more GB, that is given to you very quickly, rapidly. So this is the beauty of cloud. Okay, and suppose the same case at your end, means at your in your lab, suppose you want to add these services, then what you have to do? You have to purchase, you have to maintain that more GBs. You have to establish that in your lab, in your computer, then only you can use. But here is not the case. Okay, so that is the rapid elasticity. Cloud computing services should have IT resources that are able to scale out and in quickly and on as needed basis. Whenever the user requires services, it is provided to him, and it is scale out as soon as its requirement gets over. Okay, so that is the rapid elasticity. Sometimes this is now also known as elastic computing. Resources are added and released as per need. And the fourth one, the very important this characteristics known as resource pooling. What do you mean by resource pooling? Resource pooling. Have you any idea about resource pooling? Yes, like car, in your office, in your college, schools, you go with car pooling. What does it mean? That means many people are sharing same car. There are certainly number of benefits. Time to time, government of India and government of state have, give the advertisement that you should go for the pooling. Okay, to decrease the fuel consumptions, to decrease the pollutions, a number of things are there. Certainly here also resource pooling is there in cloud computing. Yani in same resources, same IT resources like network, server, storage, application and services, okay, that are shared among number of people. Okay, number of people, because at the background, at owner or developer side, there is a data center, that is cloud data center, that have the same hardware resources and that are shared with the help of virtualization concept. With the help of virtualization, number of virtual machines are created on the same host machine. Okay, and every virtual machine share the same host resources, same hardware, same software. And if we want service, we are actually assigned some virtual machine. Our services are coming from some virtual machine. There are the number of virtual machine on the same host machine. Okay, so we have seen previously in other classes in this particular virtualization lecture. So this is the resource pooling. Okay, I think this is clear to all of you. Now, measured service. Measured service, the resource utilization is tracked, okay, for each application and occupant. It will provide both the user and resource provider with an account of what has been used. This is done for various reasons like monitoring purpose, billing purpose, effective use of resources, to monitor the effective use of resources. There are a number of factors. Okay. So measured service means these services which are provided by the cloud vendor are measured. Everything is measured. Okay. In respect of time, money. So this is the measured service. Now will come common cloud characteristics. These are the 8 services. 8 general cloud characteristics. Eight general are common cloud characteristics. What is this? Let us see one by one. Massive scale. Massive scale means, what is the massive scale? What is the scaling? Yes, let's tell me. What is the scaling? Yes, so scaling is, okay, that is right. Scaling means number of user support to a particular system. If a system provide maximum number of user support, okay, that means when some user increased, when some additional user joined the system also perform well. That means system is scaled system. There is scaling in the system. Okay, scaling means when that provide the support to the additional user without affecting the performance of the system. Similarly, here in the field of cloud services, okay, when more number of users have joined the service, joined the cloud, the service should not be degrade. The performance of services should not be degrade. If this, we can say yes, system is have scalability. So this is the beauty here, that in cloud, that is the massively scalable. Massively in the sense, very large number of user can add on at any time, and the services is the performance of services is not degraded, and quality of services is also provided to that increased number of users, additional number of users who have joined the cloud services. Okay, so that is the massive scalable system. A large number of users can join the cloud services, and cloud provide the quality of service to them. Okay. Then homogeneity. What is the homogeneity? Homogeneity means here everything, every services, their quality and the deployment and everything is homogeneous in the nature. Okay, that means that is provided for everything, for every person, okay, in fair way. There is no discrimination. Homogeneous, similar to everybody. Virtualization. What is the virtualization? So virtualization is a technique. Okay, virtualization is a technique. Virtualization means something that creates some virtual effect. That is virtualization. So virtualization is here a technique, a very important technique. You can say that is the base of the cloud computing, for the resource pooling basically, for the creation of virtual machine basically. So virtualization is a technique, is a process by which different operating system can run simultaneously on the same machine, same PC, same laptop, same host machine. Okay, this is the virtualization. Virtualization create a virtual environment in which multiple operating system run at the same time. This is very important point to be noted. Same time. If some people can say that what is new in this? Because in our PC, in our laptop, I have two operating system. That means multiple operating system like Windows is also there and Linux is also there. But you have to give attention at this point that yes, it may be 2 or 3 operating system is there in your system, but at a time only one operating system boot and only one operating system run the system, run your computer systems. Okay. Simultaneously it is not possible. Linux is also running and the Windows is also running. No. This is possible. Yes, this is possible with the help of this virtualization techniques. Okay. Now, the virtualization means this provide a virtualization layer and virtualization software like operating system. Okay, operating system is a system software that manage the resources. Similarly, here virtualization is also a software. In fact, system software kind of thing. System software that manage the resources between number of virtual machines on the same host machine. Okay. So, this virtualization is provided with the form of virtual software, virtualization software by different number of vendor like VMware, that is a software, ESX server, Zen. Okay, these are the name of the product that is used for virtualization layer, virtualization software, VMware. Okay. So, this virtualization create environment in which number of operating system is running at the same time and each operating system can deal the different applications, and this different package of means operating system along with application is known as the virtual machine. Like this, if we remind here, suppose this is the hardware. Okay, this is the hardware resources, storage, processor, everything is there, and then this is the virtualization software. Okay, virtualization software like VMware. This is the particular product provided by the vendor, VMware. So, this is the virtualization software, and then this virtualization software enable multiple guest operating system to run on the same host machine at the same time. This is known as OS 1, OS 2, OS 3 and similarly OS 4 and so on. And this can run different application. Okay, these are the application, different application. They can deal different application. And this complete package, this is known as virtual machine. So, basically this is the virtual machine, VM for virtual machine. Okay. So, this operating system along with application is known as virtual machine. So, this is the beauty of this virtualization, that create virtual environment in which number of different operating system can run and each operating system build a form a virtual machine, and these run in isolation. Okay, this is the beauty, isolation. That means if there is any harm to this particular virtual machine like worm or some virus attack, some technical problem. So, this OS, this attack does not affect other virtual machine. Other virtual machine run at the same way as they are running. So, this is the virtualization. Virtualization is not basically, this is not the case that is only used in the cloud computing. No. For the fun, I can or you can also use this software in your machine, and you can see that how the Linux and Windows both are running at the same time. Many of these products are free of cost, that is available to the open source software that is available to the internet. You can download and you can check this. Then the resilient computing. Resilient computing means there should be some capacity, to the system, that when there is some mistake, some problem is there, some fault is there, the system should overcome. The system should not crash. due to that problem. Okay, if that is there, that ability is there in the system known as resilient. Similarly here, this cloud services, cloud computing is resilient in the nature, because if any virtual machine or any hardware here, any virtual machine, okay, damage, that cannot damage other machine, and the load that are running on this particular virtual machine that are shifted to other, okay, the system does not crash. But in the case of traditional computing, if our system is attacked by the virus and that damage, that can crash, we cannot do anything. Here is not the case. Okay, so that is resilient computing. Low cost software. Here we can use different application software comparatively low cost. If we purchase that software, that will be more costly than these services, because here the services are shared among multiple people, with the help of this virtualization and virtual machines. So that is low cost software, and this is why everybody now they don't want to purchase that software. They go to the particular cloud vendor and take the services, and after use they release that. They need not to pay, because this is the pay per use. We have to pay when we use. Geographic distribution. What is the geographic distribution? Geographic distribution, we know that cloud computing services, cloud computing architecture is built up on parallel computing and distributed computing, and include many concepts like grid computing, utility computing, and so on. So geographic distribution means here the user may be at any geographic location, they can access the service, and in fact from the vendor point of view, they are established their data center, their cloud at a different geographical locations. Okay, and they easily manage all these services and provide the services to a consumer from any place can use the services from anywhere at any time. From anywhere at any time. So geographic distributions, that means we can access from any place in the world these services. This geographic location is not matter, does not matter. So service orientation, as I have already told you that here every services, every resources, every facilities of the cloud is provided in terms of service. So this is the service oriented computing basically. Okay, service orientation is there. And then the advanced security technologies. What is this? Advanced security technologies. Advanced security technologies means, what is the security? Let us see. What do you mean by security? So basically, if anybody talk about security, so three things should come in your mind. Immediately three things come in your mind whenever anybody talk about the security. What are that? Confidentiality, this is CIA, C for confidentiality, I for integrity, and A for availability. Okay, CIA, confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Security means, okay, What is the confidentiality? Confidentiality means data should be confidential. Data and application software should be confidential in nature. Confidential means that should not leak out. Okay, nobody can listen, nobody can see without permission of the legitimate user, and that provide unauthorized, that prevent the unauthorized access. Confidentiality, the data is not open, nobody can see, and that means security is there, that means confidentiality is there. And data and application is secure, means confidential. Unauthorized user cannot easily access, cannot access that. Other is the integrity. What is the meaning of integrity? Integrity means the data, your original data is not changed. Okay, that means between the sender and receiver, meanwhile the transmission of that service between sender and receiver, that is not changed. That owner gives some other and deliver receive some other kind. Why? Because in middle some man, some means wrongdoer manipulate the service, or manipulate, update, modify the data. Okay. So integrity means the original data is means original data, service, application is used by the consumer. Okay, the same service that is sent by the delivered by that particular vendor, and the same thing is same service, same resources is used by the consumer, a client. This is known as the integrity. Okay, integrity ensure the data, the originality of data, originality of applications, originality of software, that is not changed meanwhile delivery process. And then if for availability, what is the meaning of availability? If you talk about the security, then that should be available. Available means whenever legitimate legal user want the service, that should be immediately available to them for their use. If there is some problem in means availability of their service, that means that is not secure, system is not secure. That should be readily available to us whenever we need it as a legitimate user. Okay, so this availability. So we see that, we listen that number of attacks are there, worm, virus, all these are there. So basically every kind of attacks, worm, virus, Trojan horse, or in fact malware attack any one of these three, any one or maybe any two or all three. Like confidentiality, some attacks attack on the confidentiality, that means unauthorized user can access the data. This is the attack on confidentiality. Integrity, that means meanwhile the communication data is changed, that is the attack that come in the that means hamper the integrity. Similarly, the attack like denial of service attack, very famous attack, that target to the this particular availability, because that flood the means that have sent the number of packet to the server, so many packet that cannot easily handle, and that be overloaded. In fact, when some legitimate user request come, that cannot deal, that cannot handle, that cannot satisfy that request, that cannot give the response to the request. That is known as denial of service attack, and this attack target the availability of the resources that is not available to the consumer. So in cloud computing, this advanced security technology is there, means security technology is advanced in nature. Okay, and if there is some problem in this, certainly that cloud vendor, cloud developer, cloud owner cannot sustain in the market nowadays. In fact, there is a problem in security because the number of research is going on this security. Okay, that should be more secure. But still, each and every vendor focus on these security technologies. Okay, because once there is some problems, some example of some case of data leakage, application leakage on the cloud, so there that will be defamed in this market. Okay, so these are the basically these 8 general and common characteristics I have told you. So in this lecture we have covered basically 5 essential characteristics that should be clearly understood by you, known by you, and these 8 are the general or common characteristics. There is a clear cut means separation that is defined by the NIST, that should be known. Okay, there should be no confusion in these two further. So thank you all.